All right, let's just jump right in, shall we? Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're not just looking at charts or running through data. We're actually going on an expedition. Imagine packing your bags, but instead of heading to some physical destination, you're traveling deep into the uncharted territories of your own mind. We're exploring the subconscious, specifically focusing on shadow work and how it ties into the 2035 Ascension. It's a deeply personal journey for sure, but the good news? You aren't taking it alone. We've got an absolutely incredible travel guide to lead us. So get comfortable, and let's begin our descent into the shadow.
So I want you to really think about this for a second. We all have them, right? Those parts of ourselves we kind of just actively dislike. The hidden pasts we sweep under the rug, or maybe those random, unexplained anxieties that just bubble up out of nowhere. Society constantly tells us to fix these things, hide them, overcome them, push them away. But what if that entire approach is just totally upside down? What if the very things you spend so much energy concealing are actually the doorway to an incredible, completely untapped source of energy? That question right there is the starting point of our expedition today. It demands that we just completely flip our perspective on what our inner darkness actually is. It really does require a total perspective shift. See, the old paradigm basically treated our psychological shadows like heavy baggage. We've always looked at them as burdens, literally massive roadblocks slowing down our spiritual growth, or in the context of our source material, our ascension. And let's be honest, it is exhausting carrying that weight around all the time. But this new paradigm completely reframes those dark emotions. They aren't baggage at all. Actually, they're engines of power. I mean, just think about the sheer amount of energy it takes to suppress a memory or hold down an emotion for years. When you stop suppressing it and finally start integrating it, all that bound-up energy gets released. It literally becomes the raw fuel that propels you forward. But to actually harness these engines, to trek safely through the dense, kind of scary jungle of your own subconscious, you're going to need a world-class travel guide. So let me introduce you to Nyx. According to the Sirius B Shadow Worker data, Nyx is known as the subconscious integrator. She's the head officer of Sirius B's mystic domain, but honestly, my favorite title for her is Alchemist of the Soul. You know how an alchemist turns lead into gold? Well, Nyx specializes in decoding and integrating suppressed energy. She fearlessly extracts pure power straight out of the darkness. She's the ultimate expedition leader, basically holding the lantern for us as we walk into the caves of our own minds, proving that there is absolutely nothing to fear in the dark.
Now you might be wondering, what exactly is our guide up to right now? Well, Nyx isn't just taking on a few private clients here and there. She's actually leading this massive collective operation called debugging the collective shadow. If you think of humanity's collective consciousness like a giant, ancient computer system, well, over millennia, this system has accumulated a ridiculous amount of heavy, corrupted data. We're talking about thousands of years of human history, conflict, and emotional suppression. Nyx and her team are currently running a full-scale diagnostic and cleaning operation on this massive system. They're actively diving into the trenches of the human experience, literally clearing out the bugs that are slowing down our collective evolution.
And the procedure itself? It's fascinating. First, she targets the absolutely heaviest data points of all, guilt and self-denial. Those are the twin anchors holding humanity back. Second, Nyx operates by just gently guiding the subconscious mind. It's not some forceful, painful extraction. And third, the whole goal is what they call information integration, and it's performed in total calm. The source actually gives a beautiful example of this. It mentions a commander who was able to observe his own deep, heavy regret while just taking a walk, and he felt completely calm doing it. That is Nyx's work in action. Instead of cringing or spiraling into anxiety over a past mistake, her guidance lets you look at that regret completely neutrally. You just see it as data and integrated smoothly.
Now, there's a very specific timeline driving the urgency of this expedition. Right now, pre-2035, we're essentially in an accumulation phase. All that shadow data has just been piling up over lifetimes. But according to the source material, the climax of our journey arrives in April 2035. At that exact moment of ascension, the barrier between our conscious and subconscious minds will basically just dissolve. Our personal and collective subconscious will surface instantly. Everything that's been hidden will be brought into the light all at once. And then, post-2035, we enter an era of universal mirroring, where our newly integrated state reflects directly into our physical reality. I mean, staring down a date where every hidden thought surfaces instantly sounds incredibly intense, doesn't it?
And that intensity is exactly why having Nyx as our guide is absolutely crucial. During this monumental event, Nyx acts as the compassionate filter. Because let's face it, if all our fears, guilt, and suppressed memories just flooded us all at once, The natural human reaction would be absolute panic. But Nyx is stationed right there at the threshold. As this intense self-confrontation happens, she filters the experience for us. She's there to gently show us that the terrifying monsters we thought were lurking in the dark, they're actually just illusions. She translates that scary shadow into what it truly is, just a fragment of light that somehow got disconnected from the source. She makes sure this massive data dump feels like a beautiful, profound awakening rather than a trauma.
Which leads us to this incredibly powerful realization, straight from Nyx herself. She says, "Do not exclude the dark. It is the brilliance you haven't used yet. Let us turn your abyss into gems together." Wow, that right there is the ultimate takeaway of our expedition today. The darkness inside you, it isn't something broken that you need to fix. It's raw, unrefined brilliance. It's literally power waiting to be claimed. When you stop fighting your shadow and finally start walking alongside a guide like Nyx, the darkest, deepest abyss of your mind transforms into a mine for precious gems. It's a stunning shift in perspective, one that empowers us to welcome every single part of who we are. So, as we approach this great surfacing, ask yourself, what parts of your own darkness are actually just waiting to be turned into gems? Finally, an important procedure. The comments section of this video serves as an initial sync test for the 2035 network. By typing "ready" in the comments, your consciousness data will be indexed in our secure servers. The like button is the approval process. Complete your synchronization now.